Hey everybody, this is Dead Dave and Lee Platt. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. The call-in number is 760-539-3245. Again, it's 760-539-3245. Over the weekend, Lee and I were both at an event in Wayne, New Jersey called Phantasmal Haunt. And I have to tell you, if you're able to get to Wayne, New Jersey this Halloween season, it will be there the entire month of October. And I highly suggest you go there. It is one of the most unique haunted houses I've ever been to, and you guys will love it. It doesn't have your cliche serial killers running around or chainsaws or excessive fog. It is one of the most beautifully scary haunted houses I've ever been to. Wouldn't you agree, Lee?
Oh, yeah, it was tremendous work went into it.
Yeah, it's I don't want to spoil too much about it. I would like all the listeners to go to phantasmalhaunt.com and check it out for themselves. There's a lot of photos put up from this weekend. And just to let you guys know, today's show is actually sponsored by phantasmalhaunt.com and a magazine out on the West Coast called Gore Noir, GORENOIR.com. This is a new magazine that's going to be hitting newsstands soon that is sure to give horror magazines a run for their money. It's a brand new one. A lot of great photography in there, a lot of different stories. And we are actually going to have some of our interviews featured in that magazine. We'll be sending them some of our shows, and they'll transcribe it so the readers can check out the interviews in print also. So, Lee, today I'm very excited because as you probably know, when I used to live in Jersey, my wife and I used to do a thing called Vampire Sunday. And every Sunday for a while, we used to go out of our way to try and find vampire films that we've never seen. And that's how we stumbled upon the movie that we're featuring tonight with the Subspecies reunion show. And when I saw Subspecies, blew me away. I mean, one of the most original vampire films out there. A lot of work went into it. And it's funny because when you look back at Subspecies and who was involved with it and all the components that came together, I mean, you had effects artist Wayne Toth that was part of the project back then. And those of you who don't know Wayne's name, shame on you. Wayne is in everything today. He did the work for Transformers. He did the work for Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects and Drag Me to Hell, and countless other ones under his belt. But he's one of the artists that brought the character of Radu to life, and countless other characters in the Subspecies genre. So I don't want to continue talking. We have guests that are on different time zones, and we want to make sure that we have them on the air here so their fans can hear them. And let's get started with the Subspecies reunion show. So welcome to the show, Anders.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on tonight, buddy.
Well,
and welcome to the show, Ted.
Hey, thanks for having us.
No problem, man. Like I said, it's we were talking off air before, and I wholeheartedly agree with you, Ted, that a lot of the fans out there would definitely love to see Anders at the conventions, all the horror shows that are taking place across the United States and really globally at this point. There's Charles Band is there. Now you're going to be at an event with Denise at the end of the month, the Chiller Theater show, and still no Anders. So the fans are screaming for you, buddy.
Yeah, well, it's good to know, so to speak. I was supposed to be in L.A. Early this year, but it didn't pan out. I mean, I would have loved to go, but I only had 48 hours to make it back and forth, and it became a little too tight. But right now I'm working with Dominique to try to hook up with people in March in I think it's New York or New Jersey. I'm not sure.
We should say that Honest lives in Copenhagen, Denmark, so that's why he has such a hard time getting to the United States.
Yeah, it's not that he loves LA so much that he doesn't want to leave that coast.
He did love LA when he lived here, though, I think.
Yeah, I had a good time out there. I met Ted once.
I'm going to get right into it. Ted, what? Those of you who are just joining us, Ted Nicolau is the director of the Subspecies series, the film series. What actually sparked the idea for the Subspecies film series? What was your drive for making Subspecies?
So it all began. I had been working with Charlie Band for a number of years. I started out editing movies for him when he was directing, and my intention was always to start directing. And when the revolution toppled Nicolae Ceausescu in Romania in like 1989, a guy came to Charlie and suggested that he could shoot a movie very inexpensively in Romania. And this guy had been a Romanian citizen but had immigrated to the United States years before. And as every movie with Charlie at that time, the movies began with a poster and a concept from Charlie. And that concept was a vampire movie. The vampire has these minions, the subspecies. And so basically the way Charlie worked was that was the idea, that was the poster, come up with a screenplay for it. And he had a screenplay by a guy named David Pabian, and then a friend of mine named Jack Canson rewrote it and turned it into something that we felt like we could do. I went over to Romania and met some people there, some people from the National Film Studio, and decided that it would be an adventure worth undertaking, and we started.
Well, we're very thankful for that. Like I said, it's still, to date, in my opinion, one of the most original vampire films out there.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, up to that point, vampires had never been my favorite monsters when I was growing up, but the minute I got to actually, start working on a vampire story and work with an actor of Honest's caliber, vampires became very fascinating to me.
Huh. Now, Honest, you and Michael Watson, who both played on General Hospital. He played Derek Moss, and you played Cesar Faison. You guys both worked on General Hospital. How did you guys actually become vampire brothers in Subspecies? Because the fans out there, who I'm talking about, Michael Watson plays Stefan in Subspecies. So how did you guys go from soap opera brothers or co-workers to becoming vampires in Subspecies?
Well, to me, it's a rather funny story because it all started out at a lunch break one day when Michael came back to the set at General Hospital and told me that he had been to an audition and got a part in a vampire movie. And I said, okay, fine. What is that all about, and where is it? And in no time, he arranged that I could go and make an audition. So I don't know if it was the same lunch break or the following day, but that I don't remember. But it's due to Michael that I went to Romania. That's for sure. Because I think it was the day after I went for that audition, and ended up with 4 films. So
The funny thing is, I was already in Romania when Honest got cast. We had done our casting, and we had cast Michael Watson before I left, and had another guy that was going to play Radu. And for some reason, after I left the United States, that guy fell out, and Michael brought Honest in, and I'm so thankful that he did.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. Ted, did you actually so you didn't actually go out of your way to pick cast members, say, like from General Hospital, because you have Michael, who was on General Hospital. You had Honors, who was on General Hospital, and then you have Denise Duff, who also worked on General Hospital.
Holy cow! No, I didn't even know Denise worked on General Hospital. No, I had seen Denise around Full Moon because she had been auditioning for different movies there, and I had seen her walking up and down the halls, and she caught my eye, and I was like, whoa, that woman is totally beautiful, And Michael Watson we cast because he had that troubled kind of brooding romantic look that we were looking for Stefan, and it was just through his friendship with Honest that we got Honest. So it was really accidental, not a General Hospital. I was not a General Hospital fan at the time.
You weren't trying to convert all of the cast into vampires.
No, that would have been good though.
So now I have to ask you, Honors, how did you prepare your before filming your scenes as Radu? What was your mindset or motivation that really got you into the gear?
You don't really want to know.
Go ahead, Honest. Let's be honest.
No, but I was excited and I was sort of serious about it. But the truth is that when we came to Romania, the people on the set had to go out in the streets constantly to demonstrate against Nicolae Ceausescu and whatever he left behind, and so we were meant to be there for I think it was 4 or 5 weeks, and we ended up being there 14 weeks or something like that. Wow. And during that time, we had a lot of absolutely delicious cheap red wine. And well, I mean, one day we went out on the set, Ted and I, and talked it over because it seemed like we were going to film the following day. And then Ted asked me, "Well, how does this sweet guy speak?" And that's how we laid down his voice, and that was actually on top of numerous bottles of wine, to tell you the truth.
So all the slurping and drooling of blood was Radu inebriated.
What happened was the first. Go ahead, Honest.
No, Ted was very happy about the drooling blood and so forth. So since I'm a nice man and so forth, I do what he says.
You know what happened was the first time he bit somebody and the blood just drooled out of his mouth. It was so fantastic looking that anytime we cleaned his mouth up and he just walked around without blood, something was missing. And so we just kind of went for the blood.
Well, it worked. Now with you guys being in Romania, and I understand that Romania really hasn't changed too much as far as the culture, except for the photos and stuff that I've seen is just really like telephone poles and stuff. But as far as culture-wise, they haven't really changed a whole lot over the years. Now, with a film like this, with Romania and that whole area that holds Vlad Tepes or Vlad the Impaler, as he's known, they hold him as a hero in Romania. Was there any pushback from the Romanian officials or people that your main character was an evil vampire named Radu, who also inherently was Vlad's youngest brother?
You know what? The first time we went there, we were so under the radar of anybody's awareness.
Yeah.
We were basically a very tiny co-production with the Romanian National Film Studio, so everything was open to us. We shot in the most incredible cultural landmarks, museums, houses of different unions, palaces and castles and old monasteries. Everything was available to us. The second time we went back, I think the producer, the guy who had first convinced Charlie Band that we could shoot in Romania, had not paid all of the location fees for some of the places that we shot, so a few less places were available to us, but still we could shoot. We shot at Castle Hunedoara. We shot just spectacular locations. So the only pushback was really from the Romanians that thought that the whole idea of vampires was really just a stupid Western invention.
Wow. Because, well, I find it like with as crazy and creepy and charismatic as Radu was in the film, I would imagine that any villager that still held true to the superstitions on some of the stuff over there, some of the older generations, if they saw you, they would probably have a heart failure or go screaming and running because you're the incarnation of the vampires, you know?
You know, they were the best line I heard from the Romanians was basically, we don't believe in vampires. We're not so stupid to believe in vampires. We believe in werewolves. So that was kind of their take on it. Honest, you must have scared a few people or a few kids along the way.
Yeah, but in general, I think people were pretty happy to have us, and we were treated fine, and
except in the hotels.
Except in the hotel, but that was pretty fair enough that I was thrown out one night. But everyone can go away from time to time. But the truth was that the first time we were down there, we were living in a hotel, and I think it took. I think it had more than 400 rooms, and the only people living there were, I don't know, how many were we? 20 at the most.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was sort of eerie sometimes at night.
That's what would drive us crazy. We were
your room from the bar, you know, I mean, through these hallways. I mean, it was shining actually.
It was like The Shining because we were up in the mountains by Brasov in an old ski resort hotel, and it really was this gigantic, beautiful chalet-style hotel, and we were the only people there. And there was hardly any food in the restaurant. They kept a big grand piano locked up in the restaurant, and so it was just us every night eating and drinking wine until God knows what hours.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I have a caller here, guys, for you. So I'm going to bring them on the air so they can ask you guys a question. Let's see here. Faith, you're on the air with Anders Hove and Ted Nicolau, director of Subspecies. Go ahead with your question.
Hi. I about 15 years ago, I met Angus Grimm at a convention, and I asked him about Subspecies. And he was so thrilled to talk about it. He said nobody ever asked him about that. They always asked him about Phantasm.
That's funny.
And
he
was. I'm sorry, that's my son. He told me that there was a major scene between his character, the king, and Radu that was cut out, and he was upset about it. And I was wondering if you could talk about that scene. You know, the scene that was cut out was not with him and Honest, but him and Michael Watson. We cut out a scene between Michael and him when Michael. There's that scene that's a little bit badly edited in the film where Michael comes and Stefan comes and discovers the king dead, and as he's kneeling by the dead king, Honest comes up behind him and strangles him. That was the scene that was cut. And I'm trying to remember what that scene entailed. Honest, do you have any memory of that? You know what? Go ahead.
Well, it's so many years ago, but I also remember something about that he was late for his plane.
Yes.
That he had to leave the set to get out. Or something.
Yeah, that happened too. His plane, I guess there was some weather problem in Bucharest, so the plane took him up to some city in the north of Romania, and he was like a day late arriving, and I think he had a window of like a couple of days to shoot. So we had to shoot around him. In fact, that first scene where Radu comes to see him was shot over a course of many weeks because we shot all the angles with the king, and then we shot all the angles with Honest on a different day.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It was pretty crazy. I'm
yeah,
gonna
it
just
was a parcel.
I have my Subspecies journal, the diary of Mr. Potato Head, which I kept every night of the shoot. I would write down what happened that day. It's for sale at conventions. You can buy it at Chiller Theater, which will tell you all of these stories. But Honest, talk for a minute about working with Angus Scrimm. I'm going to look up that script and see if I can find what that scene was.
I mean, to me it was all new because I mean at that point I was all new in Los Angeles and I'd just gotten a job at General Hospital. So just the fact meeting these old experienced actors it was a thrill, and and I met a lot of nice people working on Subspecies, which came in handy later. So it was beautiful.
Huh. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like Angus is actually a big poet. He writes beautiful poetry and everything, but I actually have him on video reciting Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven, which, with his demeanor, it was fantastic.
Wow, huh? Oh, it's funny because when he showed up, we had asked him to bring some costume parts with him and some hair, some wig and stuff like that, and that nothing quite worked for me as we were, getting him in wardrobe and makeup. And so we kept adding wigs on top of wigs to him, and that's why he ends up with that bouffant kind of wig look,
He brought out like Groucho Marx glasses and mustache to his head.
Yeah, really.
Now, I think Faith, you have one more question, I believe, for honors, correct?
Oh, yeah, sure. I was actually wondering, in the first Subspecies, Radu is sort of a lot more menacing than he is in the next two films, and he's a little more sympathetic as you get to know his mummy and everything. I was wondering if you like him better as a more sympathetic character or as just evil with no real explanation.
Well, I mean, I like both sides of him in a sense, but the way I remember it was, I mean, the first movie was pretty dark, beyond dark, because the whole setup was so horrible in a way. I mean, we were there for 14 weeks. We should have been there for 4 weeks, and it was bitterly cold out in the forest. I think we filmed it into December, November, December.
We left it right before Christmas.
Right before Christmas, yeah, and it was so cold, and everybody were. I mean, they couldn't get into gear because they were all frozen up. So I mean, it was sort of. It was really hard to go to work, to tell you the truth, and so in that sense, I think everything got a little colored from that, and but. On the other hand, I like it. I like it when it's black and evil. I mean, he became a little too soft from time to time with Denise stuff. Maybe it's her fault.
I think that the character of the scripts, as we got to know the character more and more, you end up being occupying his mind a little bit more. And Honest made one brilliant suggestion to me. In all those scenes of mayhem where he kills his father, then he kills his brother, then he kills his mother, when it finally came to the matricide, and every time he does one of those scenes, he's like, now I have it all, don't I? And the first two times he did it, he was very intense. And after he killed his mother, he said, Ted, why don't we, instead of having me raving on like a madman. Why don't I just play it like I'm exhausted and completely empty? And if you look at that film and watch the way he plays that scene after he kills Mummy, you'll see that suddenly Honest was playing him. I mean, he became a character. The first film he was just a vampire without any kind of backstory, and by the third film we knew who he was and we were identifying with him.
You know, I'm actually going to play a clip of one of the scenes where Radu is showing his sensitive side with Denise, and like I said, this strikes me as a very Beauty and the Beast kind of style scene, and shows like a sympathetic side of Radu. So I'm going to play this real quick.
Cool.
The sun is gone. Wait, I want to see the dawn. We will wait until the pain begins. Is it true that the sunlight can kill us? Yes. What else? What else can kill a vampire?
You know, and right at that point, like, Radu's pouring his heart out, and then all of a sudden you could see it in her eyes. She was like, what else can kill a vampire? She's like already planning her strategy how she could kill this poor bastard after he poured his heart out to her.
Yeah. By that time, Radu is pretty whipped, you know.
Yeah.
But But Faith, do you have any other questions for Ted or Honors?
No, that was it. You answered everything, and it was a beautiful performance on both the scary, evil side and the sensitive, tortured side. I love it. It's still my favorite vampire movie. So thanks.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks for calling in, Faith.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Bye. So, one of the things that some of our listeners may not know about you, Ted, is I dug a little research out. After you graduated from the University of Texas, one of your first projects that you worked on, to my understanding, is you were a recordist on the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre set, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
That's intense. That's pretty amazing. I mean, to be part of that groundbreaking film at the beginning of your career, and then going into this whole other part and bringing us something truly original, you know, in vampire.
Thank you. Yeah, that was right after we graduated from school. My best friend in film school was Daniel Pearl, and he was a cinematographer on Chainsaw Massacre. And another friend, Courtney Gooden, who was the sound man that I had been boom operator for, had another job, so it sort of fell to me to do Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And we had no idea that film was going to turn out to be as groundbreaking as it was. We were just kind of snotty film school kids, you know.
Yeah. So I actually have an email that was sent to me from someone in Canada. Dave. It says, Dead Dave, I'm available to check out the show live tonight, but I'm a huge fan of your guests. If you could, let them know that Cash Wampum in Canada loved the series, even the Vampire Journals. The series represented the cream of all Full Moon Pictures, and they were an absolute delight to watch. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cash Wampum.
Thank you.
It's funny because when it came time to do the crossover between Vampire Journals and Subspecies, remember, Honest, on Vampire Journals, Jonathan Morris was the kick-ass vampire of the clan. And when Honest came on the set to do, when we did Subspecies number 4 and brought Jonathan Morris in to kind of cross over into that, it was like the Big Daddy had come back to town. It was really funny.
Well, it must have been very intimidating. You know, it's kind of like the young Darth Vader stepping on the set with the veteran. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
But the one thing I had to ask you about that, Ted, in choosing Jonathan Morris for the lead as your lead in Vampire Journals, did you purposely pick a human that looked like Radu without makeup?
No, I didn't actually, but maybe deep down in my mind I did that. But no, basically I went to England. We cast a really wide net and saw 100 people here in Los Angeles, and couldn't find somebody quite had that world-weary, immortal vibe to him. And so I went to England, and we cast it and saw a lot of people there. And Jonathan, even though he comes from like musical theater kind of background, really sort of captured that world-weary, sophisticated quality that I was looking for.
Oh, it's great. I mean, Vampire Journals has a whole different look, a whole separate feeling than the Subspecies series does. Both of them were equally beautiful, but this one really showed, Vampire Journals really just had, gave you a more human attachment, so to speak, with the vampires and the torment and everything. But when I watched Vampire Journals, I was like, this is Radu with no makeup. You know?
That's funny, man. Well,
like
yeah,
Radu,
he's descended from him. It's funny because we sort of, when I went to do Subspecies, I knew that the money was going to be a big problem, and the resources in Romania were very minimal, and so I sort of resigned myself to it being like a little chamber movie, just a very odd European hybrid movie, and I ended up loving that about it, and just the fact that we were able to shoot in such spectacular locations, made that movie just a great adventure, even though it was a miserable adventure. And what Anna said about it being freezing cold, he had to put on those fingers. I could wear gloves, but he was wearing those fingers, and we could only go out for a couple of minutes at a time,
Huh. Now,
there were a lot of tears shed on that movie, a lot of crying actors,
Yeah. It was sensitive. It was a very romantic film.
Well, no, it was like miserable. The tears were mostly like miserable, like get us out of here, because like Anna said, it was like a 4-week shoot that turned into 14 in a place where if you ordered chicken, you'd be lucky if it wasn't bloody when it came to your table,
Right.
It was quite a scene.
Huh. Yeah, it was. Now, Honors, tell me what your favorite part was about playing the character of Radu. What was your favorite thing in the whole Subspecies franchise that you did in the film?
I have a lot of good memories, but there was one incident where I think we filmed in a cave, or maybe that was on the set, but
no, it was a cave, a real cave up in Transylvania.
The mama died, right?
Yeah.
That was in the cave, and then Ted came up with this idea that I should say something which I should repeat again and again and again, and then would come a lot of smoke, and then I would end, and then that would take me into my chamber or something. Is that right?
That's the chant that you were doing to disappear from the underground.
The chant. And then this chant, it goes something like that. And that's Greenlandic, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
And it means it means my father is dead and my mother is out of her mind.
Who came up with that?
I came up with that because I've lived in Greenland for many years. But then the film showed in Greenland, and I have some relatives up there, and the city just went fucking crazy.
That's funny, man.
Because all of a sudden they watching this American movie, not understanding much anyway, and then all of a sudden the man goes crazy. So it was a big hit up there. I think that's funny.
Oh, Honest, talk a little bit about, I'm sorry, David, but let me get Honest
to
talk
go
about through the course of the Subspecies 1, 2, and 3, and even into 4, you had different makeup artists on each of those films. First, it was Keith Edmeyer, the deer in the headlights boy, and then after that, it was Wayne and Norman, and then on number 4, it was Talk about Keith and Wayne and the process of putting on the makeup and taking it off every day.
Yeah, but that was an experience in itself. I mean, I had to be in makeup something like 2.5 hours before we actually started shooting, because that's what it takes to put it on. So, it was beautiful in a way, but it was also hard some days when you have these 10 fingers touching your face constantly for 2-3 hours. You go crazy sometimes, and you have to take breaks, and it was torture. But I was very lucky to have Keith and Wayne and Norman and the other guys who he was a sweetheart too. I don't remember his name. That's too bad. But they were all characters in themselves. I mean, Keith was this gentle, long-haired, blonde guy, and in the end, he was so fed up with it, and he kept repeating, how much abuse can a nigger take? And how low can you go? I mean, that was basically what he would say during a whole day. And when the day was over, then, well, it didn't take 3 hours to take it off. It would take, I don't know, 1.5 hours to take it off. And I usually did that with a bottle of red wine, and Ted would come down and talk, and we'll talk the shoot, what we have shot during the day through, and but that in itself was truly an experience in a sense. But so when everybody were off, then I had another 2 hours going for me. But
and then Wayne and Norman brought a whole other vibe to it, like a rock and roll vibe to it.
Yeah, they were rock and roll guys, and I even think that Wayne brought his guitar or something. Didn't they record something for?
They played they were the rock band in the nightclub that Denise goes to visit, where she picks up the leather kid.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
that's
they
really
were
cool. Now, was there ever a time that you guys went set as the characters? Were you ever off the set as Radu? Like, did you ever go out for a drink or anything after you guys are finally done, or was that way too risky for you guys?
No, we didn't do that. I mean,
that would have been so much fun.
That was too risky. I mean,
we certainly went on and had plenty of drinks, but not in makeup. No.
No.
Yeah, I mean, a thing happened for us. Years ago, we went to, I believe it was the Fangoria convention in New York. Me and several friends, and we went there, and we went there for a little while, and they were like, you know what, let's go. We went to FAO Schwartz, was like the big toy store at the time in New York, and here I am. Mm-hmm. I have these prosthetics that look like they're exploded boils kind of thing on my back, and my flesh is all like gray and like torn looking. It just with this menacing looking nose, like almost like Blix from Legend. And I had these claws, so we decided to go play in FAO Schwartz. And here I am as this creature in this kid's store, and it was funny because you'd think that character people would be terrified of, but people were like swarming us, you know, and wanting their photo taken of this creature that's in the middle of a kid's store. You know?
Wow, huh?
But yeah, it's now. Is there any? I know a lot of things fans particularly look for at the conventions. And Ted, if you've done the shows and stuff, you've done other conventions in the past, right? Chiller's not your first one, right?
Right.
So you know how big people are as far as merchandising and looking for things that are particularly from the franchise.
Right.
There is a Radu action figure out, which is very, very well done. And is there any hope or any thought of releasing a Bloodstone prop, like for the consumers, for the fans to pick it up?
You know, I should talk to Charles Band about that, because the Bloodstone sort of went through an evolution too. The first Bloodstone was kind of blown glass in, like, post-communist Romania, very minimalistic. The second one had a little bit more of a gold setting, and to me was my favorite of the Bloodstones. The third one, the production designer was enamored with the idea of having a computerized tool that would cut out that would construct it, from a computer model, and so we did that, and it ended up looking pretty crappy, in my opinion. So number 2 is the best, and we had to do the third one because Charlie somehow lost the second Bloodstone somewhere along the way. But that would be the one I would like to have remade as a.
That would be fantastic. I mean, that
would be cool. It would be very cool. I'd like to be able to sell that.
Mm. And Honors, do you own one of the original Bloodstones? Does Radu have one in his possession?
No, not one of the originals. I don't have any of them. I have that, what do you call it, that figure that was made. That I have. And actually, I don't have the movies, which you could write down, Ted.
We'll have to correct that, yeah. Because now it's out on Blu-ray, Subspecies.
I think they came out on CDs, right?
Yeah, the collection.
They're on DVDs now. Yeah. And Subspecies number 1 is just been released on Blu-ray, and it looks really nice.
Okay.
If you go on YouTube, I found
I have one of them. I have the first one on an old cassette, but that's all I have from all the months in Romania, quite frankly. It's too bad.
now have the big question that's stirring around in my brain and other listeners out there, Ted and Honors, have we seen the last of Radu?
Well,
will there be more?
There could certainly be another.
I think 5 is a nice figure.
Yeah, I mean, we have a script that we all really like for number 5. For me, it's a matter of enough fans bugging Charlie long enough that he will finally agree to spend the money that it would take to actually make the film. Things have gotten more expensive in Romania, and Subspecies number 5 covers like 800 years in Radu's life, so it kind of tells the story of how he became the twisted character that we know from the current Subspecies.
Well, see, like Subspecies, as years go by, it's really becoming like a generational film, and it's like a fine wine. With age, it just gets better. And you're using technology now to bring it to new technology with like HD TV and Blu-ray, and it was cool to see. There's a scene where you first see Radu and he comes through the tunnel there and he's speaking to Mummy. On YouTube, somebody took the original Subspecies and they put the new version next to it and played them simultaneously, so you could actually watch and see the clarity and the change in the new one. And it's pretty amazing to see.
Yeah, HD is really is nice, and it's good to see it in a widescreen version. Like, we shot it to be a widescreen film, but that was before, when all TVs were still 4:3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, so Honors, how did you go from postal worker and utilities worker to becoming an actor?
How did I go from what, sir?
A postal worker and utilities worker. I understand that's what you were doing before you got into acting.
Yeah,
the postman.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I applied for the school, and it took a long time to get in. But I made it, and more or less right after, my wife and I decided to go to Los Angeles, and there Ted was waiting for me. So, and then we went back to Europe to make those movies. I mean, so why didn't you just come over here in the first place? I don't know. But no, that's basically how it happened. But a little utility in your blood doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I understand your father was pretty big in Greenland as far as politics and everything. Was there any pushback per se from your father or your family about the career that you decided to pursue versus following in his footsteps?
I don't know. There's no actors in my family, whatever. My sister, she's a wonderful artist. She's drawing and painting and been living in Greenland for many years. And she finally came back to Denmark last summer and is going to live here now, sort of retired. But no, there was nothing in the cards saying that I would end up making Radu movies in Romania. No.
Yeah.
Do people recognize you in Denmark as Radu?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, here the other day, one came and knocked on my door down at the theater, and I opened, and there he was standing with a big poster from some Fandango magazine or whatever, and I almost had a shock because I hadn't really thought about Radu for a while, and then within the same week I met another young guy that was totally into the movies, and yeah, it seems like it's living its own good life out there.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to see that it seems to be kind of still alive. And same with TerraVision too. That they're just movies that somehow have managed to stand some sort of test of time.
Yeah.
And it's funny
because they are beautifully produced when you think about it. I mean, most of it is location shots and beautiful locations. I mean, you couldn't have made it in a studio. It's really beautiful, and I mean that comes through, I think.
Yeah, I think that made kind of the suffering that we went through, and believe me, there was a lot of suffering because it was very difficult shooting there. But it made it worth it because the movies themselves kind of stand on their own, you know. And when we kind of started exploring those traveling shadow shots, and honest, luckily it was like a great dancer too, so he was able to balance himself on the dollies that we had to kind of move him around on to make those shadows fly.
Wow, yeah,
that's
pretty cool to see that.
They are beautiful.
You know what was cool was when we saw Subspecies, we saw the shadow effects that you used, Ted, and then years later we saw the Bram Stoker's Dracula. I believe that came out after yours. And they have the shadow effects in that with Gary Oldman, and I was like, I know where that came from.
You know what? I was like, okay. I mean, we took the shadows from F.W. Murnau and
right.
So Nosferatu, but you know, it's like a pretty classical thing. But what startled me in Coppola Dracula was remember how Radu licks the blood of his father off his knife.
The knife thing.
Yeah, that to me, I was like, okay, they did it. They changed it somewhat and made it a little more furtive than. Radu just really got down on that knife, but I felt like they kind of saw Subspecies.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool to see the elements like appear later on in different films, you know, and I think it's to me it would be a very humbling, you know, homage, you know, like to see my work be justified through that, you know, it's pretty neat to see that.
Yeah.
Now,
we're just happy our work.
I have some questions for Denise, but unfortunately, apparently she.
I don't know what happened to her, man. I communicated with her earlier today, and I just sent her an email a little while ago, but haven't heard back from her. So she must have gotten called out to do something.
That's okay. Yeah. The the thing that I want to make sure everybody knows, since Denise was not on the show with you guys tonight, and those of you who are huge fans of the series, and I'm sure all of you out there are, at the end of the month, Ted and Denise will actually be at Chiller Theater's sci-fi horror toy and model expo in Parsippany, New Jersey, on the 28th, 29th, and 30th. And Denise and Ted will be there signing and everything, so you'll have a chance to meet Denise in person. So
come out and say hello to us. We love to talk to people.
Yeah, I mean it's you guys have no idea. I mean the fan base and honors, when you get to more shows, it's ridiculous the amount of fans that you have, buddy.
Well, honest, they don't even want to see me. They just want you to come. So get your butt out there, man.
Yeah, well, I'll be there in March.
Okay,
well,
cool.
Now it's out in the air. So,
yeah. So, but the three of you together,
I really hope I'll be there in March. I'm working on it with Dominique, and it should be possible.
Now, tell both of you guys, I mean, you guys knew her better than any of our listeners out there because you worked with her. Tell us a little bit about Pamela Gordon.
Pamela Gordon, she was a character. Pamela Gordon, we cast her. She knew what she was getting into, but I don't think she quite understood what it was going to involve. And Pamela had a bit of a eating disorder and was very kooky as a person and as an actress. But she was great, and she was game for anything. And she came over to Romania, and her makeup process was, probably 4 hours, and was encased her whole upper body and her arms to the point where she could barely see and had to be led from place to place. And she would get a little disoriented sometimes and have to, we just would have to be very gentle with her because it was such an incredibly difficult role to play.
Yeah.
Honest, you spent some time with her. What do you think?
She had a lot of humor, and she was a good laugh to be with. And that made everything so much easier. And she was truly a character.
Huh.
She was.
Yeah, that's cool. Those of you out there who are not familiar with Pamela Gordon, and I would imagine you are, she's the actress who played Mummy, which is beyond me why there's not an action figure out of Mummy.
Yeah, because, no kidding, man.
That would be a cool figure too,
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to complete your collection.
I mean, I think with Pamela, we sort of brought some humor into the movies already by just naming her Mummy, and then the relationship between Radu and his mother was just so kind of comically evil.
Yeah.
But it was fun to play. It was really fun to work out those scenes, because Honest trying to pick up necklaces with his crazy fingers and Mummy trying to pick them up with her gloves. It was like every scene was an adventure. You'll see if you watch the movie, you'll see Honest kind of perfected the art of picking up things with his fingernail.
Yeah, I did see that. Now like you said, all of us are out there anxious to see more subspecies stuff. So Charles, if you're listening out there, buddy, let's get on this project and let's make Radu come back to the screen because everybody wants a piece of him still.
Good. We'd like to do it before we're too old and cantankerous to do anything,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, Honors, this is something you might not be able to answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. I don't know if contractually or gag orders you can't tell me this, but the General Hospital fans, will Cesar Faison return?
No, I don't think so. Quite frankly, because the way I read it is that those soaps are in difficulties anyway, and they're having a hard time right now, and I don't think they're shooting 5 days. 5-day shoots anymore, so it's a little sad. But should they call, we'll be there in a minute.
Yeah.
Is your friend Ken Schreiner still working on General Hospital?
No, Ken is on and off, and basically living out of his boat and down in Florida, and yeah, that's more or less it. And then he's trying to built himself a hut down on Cat Island where he has a lot of land. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Now, time always goes by so fast, guys, on our show, especially when we get people together that haven't seen each other in a while and haven't talked to each other in a while, like you guys.
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful that both of you came on. And I wanted to make sure we touched on current things here. And one thing, I get a lot of my information off of IMDb, and some of it is accurate, some of it is not. And you guys could really correct me if it's not. Honors, you have tell us about your current project. What is it, Revealing? The character you play is Finn. Is he a bad guy?
Yeah, I just ended shooting. We wrapped last week, and I'm playing a character, a bad guy as usual. And this character is selling a house that looks beautiful, and then of course it's falling apart, and they want their money back, and the house is haunted by a guy who want to repair it, which of course is one of my friends and so forth. So it's I'm playing a bad character as usual, but well, it's not routine yet, but I'm getting pretty much into it.
And you kept touching throughout our show tonight. You kept touching on about theater and stuff like that. What are you currently doing with theater?
Yeah, I'm playing at the Royal Theatre right now, and we're playing a piece called Den Gary. I don't know. I think it's called The Stingy, the one who deep pockets, short arms. The character won't pay nothing, and it's a comedy. It's Molière. It's written back in 1637, I think. So it's an old piece. It's a classic. It's fun.
Classic. And Ted, IMDb, I can't really, I didn't really dive too much in there. The one thing I wanted to really promote people for you, of course, is your appearance at the end of the month at Killer Theater. And because it's people want to see the creators that are behind this. I know Charles has done shows in the past, and he's starting to make the circuit more. But it's going to be such a cool experience for fans to be able to reach out and speak with you and Denise.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I know Denise is too. So
the website for everybody out there is Chiller Theater. It's spelled Old World style, TheaTre.com, chillertheater.com. You can see the whole guest list there, and Denise Duff and Ted Nicolau are both on the list there, among countless other people, including Sarah Karloff is on the list this time around. So she's such a sweetheart, talking about her father before we let you go.
I think it's wonderful. It still has a life out there, and I really appreciate it, and I hope they'll come a number 5. I mean, I wish, Charlie, get yourself together now, please.
We would love to do it. We would love to do it. Denise is up for it. We want to do it.
Yeah, it would be great.
Yeah.
But keep spreading the word.
Well, we're definitely going to. We're definitely going to keep pushing for it. And
cool.
I know the fans are. Honors, if you could, I'm going to ask you, and you can say no if you want, and that's okay. But would you do a line of Radu for the fans on tonight's show?
Well, have a line for me?
In the voice of Radu.
Yeah, but what's the line?
Whichever line that strikes your fancy.
There will be a bloodbath.
There will be a bloodbath.
Thank you so much.
Well,
that's fantastic. It sends chills up my spine now. That's what classics do.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight, guys. Ted,
thanks
thank
a lot,
you so
David.
much for bringing your creative vision to life.
It was a pleasure,
Honor,
man.
thank you for making vampire history and bringing us the most beautifully evil character in film.
Thank you, sir.
And I hope to see you soon. I got to come to the States, and I would love to meet you in person.
I will definitely be there in March if I'm not rudely interrupted. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, now I've said it on the air, and Dominic knows, and as far as I know, he's already working on it.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Okay, David, I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we'll see you at the end of the month there.
And you guys have fun when you meet.
We will.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about you.
I'll talk to you guys soon.
Okay. All right. See you, man.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye. Honest, goodbye.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you.
Bye-bye. All right. That was Ted Nicolau and Honors Ho from the Subspecies film series. Ted was the director, and Honors was, of course, the gentleman who brought to life Radu Vladislas of the Subspecies, the drooling, evil, handsome, long-fingered vampire that we all so much love. We have a little bit of time left here, Lee, and I really wanted to touch on it, our experience that we had over the weekend.
Okay.
We were in Wayne, New Jersey. Those of you who are just tuning on make sure you check out the first half of our show that we just ended our interview with the director and actor of the Subspecies film series. Make sure you check it out. Right now, I want to talk about Phantasmal Haunt, a haunted attraction that's taken place in Wayne, New Jersey. And that's going to be there for the entire month of October. And Lee, why don't you go ahead? We were there with Addie Miller this weekend from The Walking Dead. And why don't you go ahead and tell the listeners a little bit about the event? Like, what can they expect?
Well, they can expect a incredible production that not only is spine-tingling, but visually it just blows away like anything that you're going to see. There's no bells and whistles and just BS like a lot of these places throw in. This is straight-up horror, iconic paint jobs that are just well-crafted, and the whole thing is just one big artistic love offering. These guys spent at least 3 months dedicated just to this project. Everybody that's on board is 100% dedicated and out for the fans to give them something that you're just not going to find anymore, because like you said earlier, so many of these things have like animatronics and, the guy with the chainsaw. And I mean, they do have a lot of great live actors. I don't want to, turn people off to the live actor type thing. But besides the actors inside, when you walk through this, what you're going to see is just, it's mind-numbing. I mean, I've never seen artistic visualization as far as steps that, even though they're on a wall, I mean, it looks like you could climb those staircases, and it looks like you could basically fall down the steps. I mean, the perspective that some of these artists have shown on these walls and just the overall pieces are amazing. And the fact that they were able to assemble this and bring it at such a low price. I mean, $13 to get in is very reasonable for the amount of time and effort that these guys have put into this project. And it's just so well worth it. And it's not even 15 minutes outside of New York City. right on Route 46 at the Willowbrook Mall. Like Dave said, they're going to be there until the 31st, and it runs every night. And I hope a lot of people that are listening right now just go out there and experience this, because even though I'm like a poet and, you know, words come easy for me, but to try to describe the overall look inside is just something that you have to experience for yourself. It's dark, it's hellish, but it's beautifully done in a very kind of French Quarter type spookiness. Beautiful gowns, just incredible masks. Overall, the makeup jobs are great. The paintings are just to die for. And, I mean, Joe and a lot of the other people that worked on this project.
Yeah, I think that description you gave is fantastic. I think it definitely rings true, you know. And it's
yeah.
With that, it's what can you say? The video that we're about to make, I'm going to work on it this weekend. I'll have it up on the website for everybody out there. That's something that came out of your guys' survey that we put out there, and you guys wanted to see more of us talking to people live. So that's what we're doing. We're putting together the episode. It's going to be the Phantasm, the first ever Dead Dave's Radio television network episode, and that'll be uploaded. And we interviewed Don Della Volpe of DDV Productions, and he's the creator of Phantasmal Haunt. And we also spoke with Addie Miller. So he fills us in exactly everything you can expect about Phantasmal Haunt, and you know, a little bit of the mindset that went behind it. So look for that one. Look for that episode on our website. I'm very excited to bring you guys exactly what you want. And this is what it's all about, you know. You guys have that kind of power with us, you know. Tell us exactly what you want to hear, what you want to see, and we'll do our best to deliver it. You know. So, you know, guys, we would like to be here forever and talk about everything tonight, but we touched on today is Vampire Sunday, for those of you who guys don't know out there. In the first half had the Subspecies reunion with Honors Hove and Ted Nicolau of the Subspecies film series. So make sure you check that out and get to Chiller Theater at the end of the month and in Parsippany, New Jersey, and meet Ted Nicolau, the director of Subspecies, and Denise Duff, who plays Michelle Morgan in the Subspecies film series. So get out there and check it out, guys, and get to Phantasmal Haunt. For more information on Phantasmal Haunt, go to phantasmalhaunt.com. And once again, our show today was sponsored by Phantasmal Haunt and gorenoir.com. It's a new magazine that is definitely going to you know, make people start to notice horror mags again, and almost like a comic book kind of style, you know. It's pick it up, and there's lots of eye candy. So get to Gore, GORENOIR.com. Till then, guys, join us next week as we continue with the Halloween season in October, and we're going to bring you a author of Rebecca R. Music of Memoirs of a Gothic Soul. She'll be talking about her first book as well as her upcoming second book. And the second half of that show, we're going to have psychic astrologer Ray Setti, and you'll be able to call in and speak with Ray. So we're going to have a Gothic author, and we're going to have a psychic. So, you know, we're trying to touch on a little bit of here and there for you guys throughout the month of October and give you something different for the season. So until then, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, make sure you spread the word about deaddavesradio.com, as we are growing in number in countries tuning in, and we are on the road to becoming the #1 internet radio show. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great night.
Good night.